Hello and welcome to our live this Wednesday afternoon. Hey, thank you for joining us in our live this Wednesday afternoon. This is our third live in this series we're doing this April. On this April, we are focusing on all things digital marketing. In our first live, we had a live with Ms. Sanjeev Jandu of Breathe Media, where we discussed 2021 trends in social media. And in our second live, we had a live with Maureen Memusi, where we discussed influencer marketing and how to pull off an effective influencer marketing campaign. So in our third live, I am excited to be joined by Eunice Kilonzo, where we will be discussing the ultimate secrets of content creation. And she's a content marketing specialist, so we can't wait to hear all about content. I know we are always told to value our content, make ideal content, targeted content, but then again, sometimes our content isn't really working for us. So I'm hoping we will get some value from this live. I'm just waiting for Eunice to request to join me. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, so let me just wait for her for a bit. Hey, in the meantime, if you're on this live, maybe you can just drop in what are you expecting from the live, any questions you may have concerning content creation and content marketing. If you have any questions, you can just drop it in. Oh, hey, Naila. Yes, Eunice, I can see you. Okay, so yeah, perfect. Hello.
Hi. Sorry,
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Sorry, I had some technical challenges, but I'm here now.
I don't even want to mention it. My Wi-Fi was acting up. I was like, let me not even talk about it. I feel like if you talk about it, is when it listens. No, it's doing
Yeah,
amazing.
true.
How are you? I hope your week started off well and you're ready to tell us all about content marketing.
Yes. I've been well. Reading about content marketing, you can never learn too much. So just thinking about what would people be interested in and what I can share today.
That's perfect. I've just asked whoever is joining in to just put in any questions they may have regarding content creation and content marketing, and just anything they feel like they want answered within this small section. So I'm hoping to see some interesting things in the chat. Yeah, just as before we even begin, I'd love to introduce, to just call you out and make introduce yourself. Just tell us a little bit about you and what you do, then we can start off the session.
Okay, so thank you very much. So my name is Eunice Kilonzo. I am a writer, storyteller. I love stories. I love content. So it's only natural for me to get into more content work. So I currently work at Safaricom. I'm a content generation manager. So the content that, the stories that you see, some of the content that you engage with are some of the things that I work on.
Perfect. So I'll just start right ahead and thank you. First of all, I was so excited for this. I've been telling you, oh my God, I'm so excited. So thank you so much for taking the time to join us. First of all, I feel like I just want to ask, how do you come up with content? What goes into content creation? Just taking into consideration maybe our community. Our community is made up of mostly people who are doing side hustles and people who are also building their businesses. Most of them are small business owners. with the early stage businesses that is under 3 years. So you're trying to build an audience and you're trying to make your content work for you. And in this digital age, like content feels like content is everything. So how do you come up with content?
Yeah, so I think the first thing, just to demystify what content is basically, think about it as a story. Think about it as what we are doing right now. We are generating content. Think about all the things that you scroll on your WhatsApp. What you see is content. So on social media, everywhere. So content is everywhere. Content, and whoever said content is king did not lie, because it's everywhere. It's everything that we do. That said, now that you know that we exist in a realm where content is growing and bubbling, and so you ask yourself as a small business person, as as your side hustle, what content then are you going to create? And for you to think about the content that you want to create, you need to think about, why do you want to tell this content? Because I mean, everyone is accessing something on social. People are sharing TikToks and stuff. So why do you want to tell your content? So that's the biggest question. If you're a person who sells clothes online, for instance, your content is that, hey, I have new products. Okay. If you're a person who has a kitchen and you're cooking nice Swahili food and you want people to know about it, you're going to tell people, look, I have this kind of food. This is what makes my food unique compared to other people. So another thing about content is the uniqueness. So you're not providing what everyone else is providing. Otherwise, you will be in competition with so many other people. You want to stand out. So being able to know why you're doing your content, why am I getting onto Instagram? So you need to answer that why. The moment you answer the why, everything else falls in place. And then you need to ask yourself about your objective. So the objective ties into the why, and then your strategy. How do you want to tell the content? What kind of content do you want to tell? Do you want to do videos? Do you want to do photos? The people who do really good photos of food and they make you salivate, and the people who do such beautiful photos of videos and you're like, oh my God, I need those shoes. I have been a victim. I won't lie. I go on social and I see people sharing photos of nice clothes, nice stuff, especially during the lockdown. I got buying because of the content that was there. I didn't even see the items. I just saw the content, you see? So content then should be able to draw in your audience, and then with a clear call to action. What are you expecting when you're putting this content out there? What do you want me as a reader to do? So for the times that I've gotten onto social and I've seen some nice skirts, I'm like, oh, I want that. The call to action there was, let them see what I have, let them see how much it costs, and then I want them to ask for that product. And that's exactly what content should do. Let them see what you have, let them see if it's a call to action, what you're wanting them to do, and then let them engage with you. So that's is the simple trick about content marketing. If you're able to know what you want to tell it, what you want to say, how you want to tell it, if it's a photo, video, text, or whichever, and then the engagement, how you want someone to engage with you, you're good. Yeah.
I like that so much. And I'm also a victim. Like, honestly, I was even telling my sister the other day, like, even stuff I'm buying for the house, if somebody asks me, like, where did you get your stuff? I'm like, I'm from Instagram.
Yeah.
I just see people posting things and you're asking them, oh my God, where did you get that? Yeah. So I'm also, I feel like in this day and age, we are heavily influenced by someone's content. And the thing, sometimes even I feel like the product, though, okay, we're not advocating for that, you must have a good product. But sometimes I feel like the product is not even that good, but the way the content has been done,
exactly,
you're like, oh my God, I think I want this. Yeah.
In fact, yeah, let me just tie in on that. So I'm always, if I'm not seeing stuff that I want to get, I'm seeing stuff that I want to share with people to look at. So there are times I see something nice, and then when I zoom in, I'm like, okay, maybe this product is not all that, but I already got in. I already got, sold into the idea of what story are they telling me. And so sometimes, and maybe that's a challenge also for people who now, for entrepreneurs who, if you're going to be selling a product, in as much as you're going to be telling us a story to get us in, your foot on the door, you need to bring in quality. And quality, it's a very critical thing, even for content creators, because it's one thing for you to say, oh, I have 50 posts I've put up on my Instagram or on my YouTube. But it's more important that even if you have to put 2 posts, just 2 posts, but really good work. Quality, quality, quality. So quality in terms of content creators, and quality also on the other side for people who are selling stuff. Quality, quality always surpasses quantity. Yeah.
Perfect. So now, how do we get this quality? Like, what goes into a content marketing strategy? You know, there's some words that keep flying around. You're thinking, what is this? So just break it down, like, for someone who's doing content. Maybe
Okay.
you don't have the money to maybe employ someone specifically to do your content, which I feel like is advisable sometimes. So if you're just coming up with your own thing, what goes into the strategy?
Yeah, so basically the strategy is the how. How do you want to sell your content? How do you want to do your content marketing? And here, look at it this way. Content marketing is really just a conveyor belt. It is leading you from point A to B, where point A being you want someone to know, you have your products, and point B being you want someone to engage with it, you want someone to buy your products and such. So your strategy is this bit of A and B, the how. How are you going to do it? And so whenever I think about doing a content strategy, the few things that I think about the why. Why am I doing this? So you need to have it very clear, because if you cannot define, I want to sell, or I want to market my content because I want to add more business, I want to add revenue, so you need to be able to identify that. That way, whatever it is that you do in between A and B, it's speaking to that. Okay, so you need to identify what is your objective, what is your goal, the why, and then you need to ask yourself, okay, so do I have the skills myself to shoot the videos? If you don't have those skills, you can have someone else who comes on board, as you're delegating that skill to someone else. So then you need to ask yourself, what are the skills? So you're doing a skills analysis. I can't shoot photos, or I don't have a good camera that can do it, but I can get someone who can do it for me. I can, if you are thinking about doing a podcast, for instance, as content, I can record it, but maybe I don't know how to edit it. So then which skills don't you have, and which skills do you have? So then being very clear, knowing these are the skills I have, these are the skills I don't have, will help you also to as you're doing your how. Because then if you don't have something, you'll build it. If you have it, you'll enhance on it. The other thing that in your content strategy that we want to focus on is the topic. What issues do you want to talk about? Do you want, if you're a business person, for instance, if you're creating art, do you want to tell the story of you doing the art? This is how I made this painting. Or do you want to tell the content of, this is the painting that I have done and this is what it means? So you have to be very clear about what it is, because if you confuse the two, then it could work, you could bring them together, but I would advise stick with one story at a time. So you could tell the story of the content is, I have done this painting. This is what it took for me to do it. So you give us, the behind the scenes, and we see you setting up things. Exactly. And actually, I enjoy that content. When I see something coming, oh my gosh, that's beautiful content. So you want, if you're a business person and you're saying, this is how my product moves from my shop to your shop, and you want to show us that journey, then that could be your story. And people who do this very well, look at small businesses on Instagram. Just see how people who sell food, people who sell, sometimes even who make masks, for instance, they will show you, this is how I got the materials. So if you can either choose to tell the content in that aspect or the final product, and this is what it will do. Okay. And then think about, so you've talked about the why, the objective. You talked about the skills that you have or you don't have. You talked about the topic. So what story do you want to tell? And now that you know the story you want to tell, what format? Now, for content creation and content marketing, not every format works for everything. You see, when you're talking about this is how you do it, this is how I do my photography, for instance, you're taking us behind the scenes. So what would work for you there would be a video. I started like this, and this is what I did, and this is what happened. Now, if you're to go and tell, if you're going to do, say, an audio story about it, not that it's bad, but people would want to see it, the visual aspects. So think about the format. Do you want to do a video? Do you want to do an audio? Do you want to do a text? Do you want to do a photo? Do you want to do animations? And the opportunities for you to do any of these formats are endless, and I'll talk about some of these platforms where you can do this. I mean, from Instagram, you can do stuff on Instagram, you can do stuff on TikTok. I mean, I think TikTok is a powerful tool. I wish people would know how powerful that tool is, because the moment you can hack TikTok and you learn how to do short things, 15 seconds of videos, there's nothing that's going to stop you in content creation. So anyway, so think about the format. So what format are you going to, it's going to work for you. So this is all part of the strategy. It's, think about the strategy as this house that you're building, these little, foundations. And then the other thing that you want to also include in your strategy is how frequent will you be publishing. Now, for content creators, you need to be very careful that you don't become a one-hit wonder. I hope I pronounce it correctly, because I have a H problem. So, so don't be a one-hit wonder.
Very well, very well.
Yes. So if you're planning to be telling stories, to be generating content on your Instagram or on your YouTube, do you want to do this weekly? Do you want to do this monthly? Do you want to do this every quarter? Because when you define that, it's easier then for you to start planning ahead. Now, I would advise this. Do not be tempted to say, oh, I have all this content. I can do everything today, tomorrow, and this whole... No, please, hold your horses. As much as
I feel like you're attacking me. I feel attacked, personally attacked.
I'm sorry, but truth be told, if you have too much content, that's good, then you can stagger it over time. So I'll give you an example. In addition to all the things that I do, all the storytelling that I do at Safaricom, I also started a video storytelling platform, which goes behind the scenes, following creators, people who are creating stuff, people who are doing earrings, people who are, like any creator, you're using your hand to do stuff. I want to tell those stories, give you a front row seat and such. So I started doing my videos. I would go myself, sometimes I'd go with my husband, and I would shoot, let's say in a week's time, I would do like 5 episodes. The temptation for me was, oh, I have all these 5 episodes, I can do them in December, all of them. But I thought to myself, the frequency, you want to build an audience, you want them to know that you're going to be doing stuff every week, every month. So for me, I do it every month. And so I said, I'm going to stagger this content. So this month I will do this, next month I'll do that. So I would advise the same thing for you when you're thinking about your content strategy. Think about the frequency. Don't be too quick and don't be too slow. Okay? So if you're going to be doing, say, on a quarterly basis, then give us something worth our weight. Give us something that would, like a 15 minutes documentary thing. I'm just giving an example that would sit back and be like, oh my gosh, I am looking forward to the next quarter, So think about your frequency and don't be too ambitious. I've spoken to creators. I spoke to a podcast. She's called Carol Oil. I featured her in one of my series. And she was saying, yeah, and I started, I was like, yeah, I could do this every so often. And then she realized, let me just be realistic. I can't do this every day. So think about it. And so frequency also could also mean if you're working in a newsroom, for instance, or you're working at a place like where I work, where sometimes you have stories every other day. So then it's okay for you to say after every 2 days, but think about the frequency. And then finally, think about the channels. Now that you have your content, now that you have everything, now you know when you want to, how often you want to do it. Which channels will work for you? A good video, there are some videos that would work perfectly well on YouTube. There are others that will be awesome on Instagram. But then there are others that you probably just would want to share them on WhatsApp. I'll give you an example. There's a magazine that comes out every week. It's called The Continent. It's by the Mail and Guardian. It's a South African publication. Their newsletter comes out every Saturday on WhatsApp. That's their platform. That's their channel. And so you simply just sign up. There's a number, you put in your number. I mean, you say, I want to subscribe. And every Saturday, I think at around 11, they send you a PDF of the whole thing. So then they've known that our platform, why they went into WhatsApp, and when I was reading about it, for them, we're doing WhatsApp because that's where most misinformation goes on. That's where everyone is forwarding things that are not confirmed. So we are countering that by giving you a channel, going into that channel by providing content that actually works. So you think about your content. Who are you targeting? Where do you find them? Where will they find your content? So if your friends and your content consumers are on Twitter, then think about Twitter as your first channel, and then everything else falls in place. So just as to wrap it up, your content strategy should have your goals, the why, the skills that you have or you don't have, the topics or what you're going to cover, the format, if it's photo, video, audio, etc., the frequency, and then finally the channels.
Wow. Like, I'm just glad we're saving this, because I feel like I need to go back and like look at that again. Thank you so much. And you've just like honestly called me out in all those sections. I'm the ambitious one. I'm the the one who has content. It feels like they can put out content like every week, and then you get stuck.
You don't have to.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And what tools would you recommend? Because you've mentioned like you have this strategy and you already have these goals and you already have this duration in your mind and you've put it down. What tools can you use to help maintain like your content quality and your consistent delivery? Because we also, I can see, I pinned a question down here. I think you can see it as well.
Yeah.
Where I think it's tied into that question, right? Like she's asking, I'd like to know how to easily create a content calendar for different clients, content idea sites. Yeah, so just what tools would you recommend that would tie in this?
Now that you have a strategy, now that you know what it is that you want to, how you want to move from point A to point B, now we move on to the platforms that you want to use to generate your content and to ensure quality and consistency. My best platform, and I think I should probably have Canva endorse me for something. Canva is your best friend. I won't even lie.
I attest to that.
Like Canva. And now
with limited to nothing skills.
Exactly. Yeah. And you know, the beauty of Canva is that you can learn. You know, it allows you to make mistake and then you're like, oh, no, maybe not. Let me undo that. And then, you know, you can always learn. So Canva, beyond graphic design, the people who are saying, no, me, I don't like graphics. Hey, I'm not. It's okay. You don't like, but just go in and go in with an open mind. Go in to see they have a whole content calendar platform there where you can say, in a month, I want to publish. You remember the frequency we talked about? In a month, I want to do one good piece. So you say, I want to do it every 25th of every month. And Canva will allow you to click. I wish there was a way I could share my screen, but maybe on another session, we could do this. Like you go onto Canva and you say, on the 25th of every month, I want to do a video. And it'll ask you which kind of video. Do you want to do it a video on Twitter, for instance, or on TikTok, or whichever. And you can actually create that content on that platform and schedule it and move onto other things. And it automatically, once you link your accounts onto Canva, and it posts it for you. So Canva is your best friend, guys. If you've never tried it, if you're thinking, oh, maybe I need to get a paid up version, maybe not. Try the free version, and then it will give you. You'll think about it if you want to get into the paid up or not. But Canva is your friend. Now the beauty of Canva, in addition to it posting it for you and preparing that editorial calendar for you, you can download the same content and then use it in other platforms. Okay, so other platforms that I like to use as well is WordPress. So you can also schedule blog posts. You can schedule, like you can do so much. And thanks be to God for scheduling, because sometimes you look like you're on top of things, but you are a smart person because you planned early in advance. You know, you're like, I know maybe next month I'll be a bit busy, but I can schedule in advance. So Canva, top of the list. The other place is WordPress. So you can use some of the content from Canva, bring it to WordPress. The other really great platform is Medium. Medium is a platform that not many people know, but it has such a nice, large following for content creators to utilize. Unfortunately for Kenya at the moment, we can't quite earn from Medium posts, because then you have to be linked up to a Stripe account, which is not yet available in Kenya. But all the same, look at it as a practicing session for you now, for you to learn to build your skills as you're waiting for you to start monetizing it. But Medium is also a good place. MailChimp is a platform for newsletters. So that for people who are doing, let's say you are a service provider, maybe you do digital marketing something. So you would want to do a newsletter targeting either your current audience or a new audience. These are potential people you'd work with. So you want to do a monthly or a whichever, depending on your frequency, to tell people these are some of the skills that are available. These are some of the industry news. So MailChimp, you can schedule posts and you look like a queen or a king, like you have all your stuff together. Well, you just literally just planned in advance. Okay, another good platform that I also use is Google Analytics. You want to know what people are asking, the questions people are asking, because that way you're not going to be saying stories that are not relevant to, or content that are not relevant to your audience. So check Google Analytics and set up even Google Alerts to learn about some of the things that people are discussing about. So for me, for instance, I'm passionate about storytelling. I'm passionate about content. So my alerts, my analytics are always on are around those keywords. So put them in. That way you are informing yourself even as you're building content, because you will realize, and I might have alluded to this, is that content is about quality. It's about the value. So what value are you adding to your audience? If, let's say, you are working as an organization, let's say you provide, I'll give an example, like your HELB, Higher Education Loans Board. What are some of the content your audience would be keen to learn about? Would be the next cycle for you to apply, for instance. That's information, that's content. People would want to know, how do I manage my money better? That's content. So those are opportunities for you to come up with content that would be of interest to your audience. So then another platform that I also use a lot to ensure quality is Grammarly. I won't emphasize enough on this. Grammarly is that friend of yours who calls you out when you do not put a full stop where it should be, or like you need, if you don't have it yet. Sorry, sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'll read those questions afterwards.
I think the comment there for later. Okay,
Sarah. So you want to have your documents checked. You could be awesome, and this is the thing. And I also talk about CV writings and personal branding. People always say, I'm attentive to detail and all these things, but your content has missing full stops, hanging sentences, and all these things. And people are wondering, how are you attentive to details? So you see, so Grammarly is your best friend for the writers, for the people who who do scripts. Run it through Grammarly. You want to be on the safe side. Another thing that I also use is you need to listen to what people are saying on social media. So there's a site that's called Awario. Awario is a social
I've never heard of that.
It's AWARIO. I'll put it up, AWARIO. But I can also share my talking points so that guys can see this. So Awario it helps you to do social listening. Why is this important? For organizations, for companies, for even small companies, you want to know what people are saying about your brand. You could be there thinking, I am the best, I am, but people are saying completely different things. So you want to be able to hear what people think about you, and maybe not you as your brand, but also your competitor, because once you hear what people are saying about your competitor, then you know what you need to work on for yourself. You see, so being smart and thinking ahead, that always works for content creation. And then the other platform that you can always use to maintain content quality and to benchmark yourself is other social media platforms. So think about Twitter. People are doing beautiful threads. Why aren't you doing threads for your organization? What stops you? Nothing. People are doing nice photo stories on Instagram. What stops you from doing the same for your platform? So by learning from other people, and it's not just so that we're clear, it's not you're copy pasting what other people are doing, because you're all doing different things, different visions, different missions. You are learning and then seeing where they have a gap, you're building on it and then taking it higher. Okay, so other content platforms. I know I've said this again. TikTok, my good friends, TikTok it will open your eyes to, you see, all these platforms that I've talked about, Canva and all these things. You go onto TikTok, you get people who are teaching you tips and tricks of how to hack something in there, how to do social media and just go in with an open mind. Don't go in and say, it's only for kids and doing dancing styles and Go in and learn. In fact, for me,
Yeah.
the people who know me know that I am extremely curious. So whenever I hear there's something new, there's a new platform, I'm like, I am going in. I might not know how to use it, but I'm going in to learn. Because the moment I learn, then I can sit back and say, if I compare that and this other platform, what am I going to gain? What am I going to learn from it? So yeah, so those are some of the platforms that I personally use. And I have seen tremendous quality. I've been able to improve how I tell the stories and how I generate the content that I do. Yeah.
Wow. Like, wow. As in, okay, I don't even know how to follow up. How do you identify the content to actually promote? Like you are removing, or as in, how do I put it? You're putting out this content. So how do you identify, like, this is just content I put up, but now this, let me promote this. Like, how do you, yes. And how do you make that promoted content work for you? Like, if it's an ad, yeah. Just any maybe tip you could give on that.
Yeah, I think the best thing about knowing what content to push or to advertise or to promote would be looking at your statistics. How are people engaging with that content? So you're going to compare. Let's say today I put up I'm doing a sale. The moment people see sale, people are thinking discounts, people are thinking I'm saving a coin, people will jump on it. Okay. Yeah. So you're already thinking, okay, so when I'm going to be doing sales, I'm going to be promoting that content. So you need to be able to understand what, the psychology of your audience. Think about it, one, as yourself. What are you likely to click on? We see so many content. We scroll things. Just what stops your thumb at a content? It's because of either I am going to gain, because we are very selfish beings. Sometimes I want to see what am I gaining from this? But more importantly, is it relevant? Relevance cannot be emphasized enough. It has to be relevant to me. So if you say you're doing content around health issues, for instance, is it relevant to your audience? Because with the social media platforms, you can even select, I want it to target people who are 18 to 35 in this region, and they have this kind of, you can even define clearly demographics of who you're targeting. So then you need to make sure that it is relevant to them. And relevant here is in terms of the issues. So if they're passionate about health, for instance, passionate about sports, passionate about working out, we've been staying in the house for too long, people want to start moving, a bit more and fit into their nice clothes they've been shopping online. So you are trying to get them to move and become healthier. So is it relevant, to them? And is it timely? Is it a timely issue for them? Because timeliness, you don't want to be the person who comes in when everyone has already moved on from that issue. So you're just telling us, like, I don't know if there's anyone who follows Internet Explorer on Twitter. They are always telling us things that happen. It's a tongue-in-cheek kind of thing, but they're always telling us, like, they probably would be telling us, oh, Kenya has just promulgated their new constitution. I mean, you're thinking that was ages ago, So don't be that person who's providing content that is old. Not that to tell you that you should always be fast with the news, but fast and very strategic in how you're doing your content. So relevance to your audience, relevance to the industry. Do you want to be an industry player in that area? So you want people to start learning from you as a content person. The other thing that you'd want also to, if you want to promote content, think about if it answers the so what. Why should your audience care? Why should they care about their civic rights? So I'd imagine, let's say, if you're thinking about the upcoming election, some organizations that would want to start championing civic rights, they probably start, they'll start pushing it. It's 2022, but they probably start pushing it end of the year. These are your rights. This is what you need to know. Being very, very strategic, because so that your audience is saying, so what? If you start pushing it now, people will be like, isn't it too soon? I mean, we're not in 2022, So you're being very strategic so that your audience cares, and then you can tell what you can promote. Okay. And then of course, with the internet now, content creators, businesses can even track the cookies, how someone engages with what section of their website. If they go, and most organizations will tell you this, people are always keen on the careers pages, we have this job, we have this job. So those are the most popular pages. So if you know that your most popular page is those careers, promote that. And then once people come into your career, then they can see other things. So being very strategic in how you position your content. Yeah.
This is invaluable, Eunice, like honestly, like very, very invaluable. Oh my goodness. So I saw like someone was asking you to please repeat the name. I think you'll put it in the chat.
Yes, I'll put
the
it.
Name.
I'll put it.
Yeah, where you can see what people think about your brand. Yeah. And then which other question do we have? Oh yeah, so I saw a question by Kisahe. She says, I imagine good storytelling helps in birth of communities. Can you give like characteristics of this kind of content? Maybe.
Sorry, just repeat that.
She's saying that she imagines that good storytelling helps in birthing communities. So like, can you give like a bit of like a few characteristics of what that storytelling would entail? Yeah, when you're trying to grow, I think, a community.
Yeah. Okay. So so I the best example I mean that I thought about, think about Biko's writing. Jackson Biko has built a community around creative storytelling, and because of that, he's been able. I mean, he has long pieces. You'll read and read. People say, "Oh, you know, this current generation just wants to read 30 seconds things." No, some of us spent as long as that article takes us to read it, you know. So storytelling.
And the thread on Twitter, how you follow that thread of Twitter since I don't know which year. Okay.
Exactly. So storytelling it's a very, very powerful tool for content creators to know about. Storytelling is about empathy. Storytelling is about, you know, feeling and being in someone's shoes. Storytelling is about reading a story about someone talking about their journey in infertility, for instance, and then not telling you, I am still waiting for a child, but it is for them to show you how every day the stares from the community, people asking her, oh, you've been married for how long? Oh, okay, and not yet, you know, without people understanding why that is not happening. Empathy in storytelling for this particular story would be for you to sit back and to hear from and to see how this family is trying to navigate infertility in a way that you probably never have had before. It could look like, you know, going for shopping and quickly passing by the Pampers section, you know. It could look like, you know, seeing other people's children and, you know, being very, you know, holding your breath because the question would be, oh, do you have yours? You know, so exactly. So storytelling is being able to empathize, is being able to make people sit back and just say, I can actually have an emotional connection to this. I am not at you know, an adult to start thinking about family, but I can already feel their pain. Storytelling is about, you know, getting people to move with you and see how Biko's stories are done. You know, he's the best example I'd give. He writes a story about, you know, the staff who work at Java, for instance. The people who, you know, you when you go to Java, you're hungry, you're there asking for the menu, but he's humanizing those people. So storytelling is about humanizing brands. It's about stepping back and saying, oh, now I understand why this person and that person works where they work or how they do what they do. So storytelling to build communities, think about empathy, and then think about humanizing those people and those stories. And definitely the moment people can hear someone and see someone who looks like them, you have them in, you have them drawn into your community.
Oh my goodness. As in, I'm just trying to see like if there's any other question, but I'm seeing beautiful remarks about this conversation. So I'm not the only one who's like feeling like this is so valuable.
Oh, thank you.
I feel validated over here in the comment section. Thank you so much. I think we've answered almost all. I feel like all the questions apart from the mentorship one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. There's one from Stella Nderitu. What are the new trends of content creation that women serving organizations should leverage on?
Wow. Okay. What are the?
Maybe you can do that.
Okay, what are the, I mean, think about it this way. It really doesn't matter if whoever is telling the story. What matters is the how, the technique. And you'll discover this, the people who you probably do not want to read their content, but their content is really good. Their names, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's that person again. But their content is really good. So it doesn't matter who creates it. It is the content that is king.
Itself.
It is the how and the technique. So the trends that I'm noticing that people are doing more, and brands are also doing this, and businesses are also jumping on this. It falls back to storytelling. Storytelling, I think, storytelling does something to the brain. The moment you're told, I want to tell you a story, or you see something that looks like a story, your mind just activates, your neurons, your brain is like, oh my God, we are going to be told a story, we're going to be taken on a ride, it's going to be awesome. Exactly. Our brains, our brains are very, very, they're tied to storytelling. So the trend, it's not even trends, the trend, I would say that more and more people are going into storytelling. And if you're to unpack storytelling a bit more, you need to have empathy. And your empathy it shouldn't be fictitious, that it looks like, you're forcing it. Let it come out natural. And that's why you see people and organizations letting their customers or their beneficiaries telling their story. Okay. And then the other, so there's a bit of empathy, and then the bit of humanizing. Who are the people behind the stats and the figures and the nice things that you guys are doing? When we're talking about, as a brand, or as an organization, we've been able to train 50 students. Who are they? Exactly. What are their passions? So being able to unpack all that work that, your numbers, what your numbers are saying, in people and in voices that people can relate with. And voices here is not the people that everyone knows, not the influencers, the big influencers that you see and you're like, oh, I see that celeb is there. No, it's ordinary people who say, if I don't get this, then my life will not look like this, So for me, the biggest trend here is storytelling that is tied on empathy and tied on the human voices, the human interest. Everything else, I would think it feeds into those gaps. But the most important thing, just look, and I would challenge you guys, look at how brands are telling their stories now. Guys are jumping onto Instagram, guys are jumping onto different reels, and they're letting people tell the stories. So it could be, I don't know, I'm thinking could be like an international organization. I worked at UNEP, and at UNEP we were always telling stories of people. The environment, I was writing about coral reefs, and I would tell you, people were like, what are coral reefs? Some people have never seen them. But how I used to tell the stories was, I would tell the stories of the people who benefit from that ecosystem. The fishermen who, if we destroy the coral reefs, then there are about billions of people who are going to miss out on their livelihoods. You see, so being able to say, this is what the issue is, but which people or which voices amplify that story.
I love that. Wow. Okay, this was supposed to be 20 minutes. Like, I'm happy you're just going with the flow. Thank you so much. Maybe we could just finish off with Nyla's question. You see, like, I'm not the only one who's just a stan. Like, I'm just standing over you. Hi, Eunice. Do you mentor people looking to get into your field of work? Yeah. Do you do this, and how can they get in touch with you?
Yes. So yes, I do. I mentor people. Because I will tell you for sure, I did not get where I am right now on my own. I had people holding my hand. So I used to be a journalist. I used to work in the newsroom. I had editors who held my hand, who mentored me to be who I am. And so I mentor people, and being very intentional in this mentorship, I try as much as possible not to say yes to everyone. Not that I don't want to, but saying, okay, so if you want me to mentor you, what exactly do you need me to mentor you in? So that I'm not there, mentorship. There are people who like mentorship by association. Oh, Eunice is my friend. Eunice is my mentor. No, I don't do that, because even the mentors that I have, I don't hang out with them by association. I am putting in the work, So I mentor people. And currently I have, I would give about 15 people now that I mentor directly. I call them at least every other week find out what they're doing, how they're doing, and I'm mentoring them in comms, but also I'm mentoring them for their careers and their personal branding. So that said, anyone who wants me to mentor them, find me on all these platforms. I am on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter. You can drop me a line. Well, I would have shared my number, but then again, there are people who will make sure that I don't sleep. So find me on these platforms. Tell me where we met, what you saw, what, and then tell me what exactly you want me to help you with. Because I won't lie, I can't do everything for you. And for me, mentorship, it is, we are walking side by side. You're not sitting and saying, oh, now I want to write a piece on I don't know what. Eunice will write for me and then I'll publish. It doesn't work like that. Mentorship, you're putting in the work. You want to write, you start writing, I help you review it, okay? So yes, so reach out, more than happy to assist. I try as much as possible to give back because I know where I am and where I'm praying and trusting God to take me will need all of us to go in tandem. So yeah, so reach out. I'm more than happy to assist, more than happy to, and if I can't do it myself, I will always recommend you to other people. So I'm always saying, oh, if you need this, speak to this person, speak to this person. Yeah.
I love that. And I'm also thinking of just like coming up with some sort of mentorship platform, like under maybe just to kind of like match mentees with a mentor, and maybe like something that you can actually like interview each other and see if you're a good, something of the sort. I'm planning to do something of that sort. And now that you mentioned you do this, I will talk to you about this and maybe we can figure out how we can feature in this. That would be really cool. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for this beautiful content you have given us.
Allow me to show you guys my forehead because I want to type in my my social media. Sorry, guys. I promise you, this is going to be a short pain.
Let me tell you, I feel like I've taken one for the team here. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. So anyone who wants to find me, put in my Twitter handle over there. Reach out. More than happy to to assist, to help out. I'll share some of the notes that I did today. I always do what are they called, presentations of all the stuff that I talk at. So I'm more than happy to do this. I only have a script at the moment, but I'm going to do this into nice slides and then I'll share them on my LinkedIn, on my whichever other platforms that I share.
Perfect. I'll save this on the page for the Future Females Nairobi page. I can leave the caption open, so when you do the summary, I can now edit it into that as well.
Sounds good.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Sounds good. Yeah.
So have a very, very lovely Wednesday afternoon and the rest of the week. Thank you for blessing us with this content today. This has been invaluable.
Thanks everyone for your time. I don't take it for granted that I've gotten this opportunity to share. So thank you. If we meet in any of these streets and you see my name, please say hi. And if you see my content that is not so good, also say hi and tell me to improve. Thank you.
I like that. And same to me, guys. Thank you so much for joining us and being so interactive in the chat. Appreciate you guys. Have a very good
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Okay.